Hello everyone and welcome to Movie Review UK and our review for Captain America Civil War. I saw Captain America Civil War at midnight and I was as fresh as a daisy. I've never actually been fresher for a midnight showing because I was so excited. In fact, during one of the scenes I was so excited that I was actually physically in pain because I think my muscles were twitching or something, but I couldn't get my legs comfortable because there were like things happening. But this film is incredible. I want to say that right out of the gates because I'm going to talk about some criticisms first. My main gripe is perhaps a minor spoiler. I feel like Baron Zemo is not Baron Zemo. The idea for the character, his motivation and his plan is brilliant. Really good, really works well, and it's not something that we've well, it's something that we've seen. In fact, we've seen it quite recently in Batman vs Superman. But if they're doing it in a way that is a 1 out of 10, this film does it in a way that is a 9 out of 10. I'm now going to hit you with a big spoiler, and that is that Baron Zemo manipulates the heroes into fighting each other rather than him trying to take them on. And that was a really fantastic element. But as I say, it's just not Baron Zemo for me. All of the characters are incredible. The way that they balanced everyone getting their own scene, everyone getting their great, one-liners or valuable content, valuable gift to the plot is absolutely mind-blowing because there's so many characters in here. Not only are there so many characters, there's a lot of new characters being introduced for the first time, and they're introduced absolutely brilliantly. For example, Black Panther is incredible. Immediately we become emotionally invested with him, and then like almost immediately he's kicking ass, moving like a cat. His acrobatics and the choreography for Black Panther was incredible. It's almost like a more elegant version of Spider-Man, but with some real power and fearlessness behind him, and that was just all through his fighting style. Incredible. Captain America is amazing in this. Chris Evans, he's always brilliant, but he stands out in this. This is definitely up there with the finest performances of Cap. He always stands by his morals in this film. He's very determined, and you see a lot of emotion from him as well. That and the friendship with Bucky, I think, is one of the film's strongest points. I absolutely love the character of Bucky. I think over the course of the 3 films that he's been in, he's been on a real journey, and in this one it was so refreshing to see him talk again and be a person after the Winter Soldier, where he is largely mindless and obviously being controlled. We see more backstory around that, and this film really at its heart is about Bucky. All of the other players, Black Widow, Vision, Hawkeye, whoever they be, they're brilliant, and the way that they're all introduced is amazing. Like when the next character pops up, you're like, oh my god, amazing. Like Hawkeye's introduction into the film is fantastic. Ant-Man's introduction into the film is fantastic, and all of these characters coming up is just amazing. But Spider-Man, perfect, absolutely perfect. When the lead-in line happens, that is like, we're about to see Spider-Man, I was just grinning from ear to ear, and that's before we've even seen him. That is just the suggestion of him, and then when we finally see him, I was just absolutely enthralled with how good he was. He was the perfect Spider-Man, the best Spider-Man. Summed it up quite well last night when I said Maguire 6 out of 10, Garfield 8 out of 10, Tom Holland 10 out of 10. For me, he is the best Spider-Man. Personality, voice, all incredible. Persona, the way he moves, but the action scenes with him in, they're just so well done. It's ridiculous. I'm sure if you've seen the trailer, you'll know there is an airport scene or an airport battle, and I think it's probably the best scene in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is the most remarkably incredible and complex, well choreographed and well sewn together action scene, because it does have its fractured down elements. It is a lot of 2v1s, 1v1s, 3v1s, whatever, but they all sew together, and then there's just these epic iconic imagery, and it's all just amazing. It really is. These characters are so many, they all have such balance. It's weird that they don't feel shoehorned in at all. It's the overarching plot and the politics of it is really interesting. It's perhaps a side that they could have touched on more, because I think a lot of what is so interesting is the heroes' conflicting disagreements as opposed to non-conflicting disagreements. But that kind of, the bits where they're around the table discussing it was brilliant, and it would have been great to get a little bit more of that, but also can't complain at what we did get. And the film is 2.5 hours long, or coming close to 2.5 hours long. Didn't even feel it, to be honest. Flew by, probably, is what I would say. Some of the other little villains that pop up, very minor roles, are decent, and there's well, there's plenty of really good action scenes in there. One of my favourite action scenes, it's in the trailer, it's, I'm going to have to spoil it, spoilers. It is Captain America stopping a helicopter from flying off. And I was just, I was in awe. This is absolutely ridiculously good, and just bloody incredible. Another minor criticism, the CGI on Iron Man looked a little bit, it was a bit too polished, and his suit was a bit too smooth and a bit too clean and almost a bit too futuristic looking. I liked it in kind of Iron Man 1 when it had a bit more texture. Don't know if it was more or less CGI, who knows, combination of. But again, it was minor, it didn't really hamper my enjoyment. The battles, including the final battle, are epic. And the way that it leaves the Marvel Cinematic Universe in at the end is intriguing and concerning. Concerning from a story standpoint, not, oh, I'm worried where they're going to go with this. Like, oh, I'm worried for the characters. This is incredible. And yeah, wow, really well directed. Amazing balance of characters. The characters they do introduce are so exciting and epic. And the story is so large, so wide, and so vast, spanning the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. But also, it is a Captain America story. I was a little bit concerned that this was going to feel more like an Avengers story, and certainly it is an Avengers story, but it is centrally a story about Captain America and about Bucky. And I think that was really important because, of course, we had such a strong friendship that we see in the first film. And then in Winter Soldier, he is seeing his best mate fucking, yeah, just in the state that he is. So I think it's important that we got to see the friendship back to where it should be and all of the consequences. And I could go on, but that is enough because this film is incredible. Definitely one of my favourite Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Not my favourite. I think that is still probably Guardians of the Galaxy. But I put this in the general kind of area of Avengers, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron and Civil War. They're all kind of pretty much my joint second favourites, really. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Thanks very much for watching Movie Review UK. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the movie and subscribe for more videos.